Hello and welcome to Spirit Touched. Because they are spirits, angels do not bleed and die. Yahweh SEBA-OT equals Lord of Heaven's Army. And more than 250 times, God calls himself by that name. We do not know what angels are made of, but we do know this, Colossians 1:16 and 18. And we also know Job 38:7. The when is not important for us to know. Psalm 104 tells us more about the Genesis creation, and Hebrews 1:7 agrees. Psalm 104:4 is the one that refers to angels, except for those who fell with Satan. There are the same number of them now as there was at creation. Matthew 22:30 tells us why that is. How many are there now? No one can count them. They live and do most of their work in heaven with and for God. Isaiah 66:1. That opened a lot of time in the throne room. They spend, a lot of time in the throne room. They cannot be in more than one place at a time, nor do they know everything like God does. They also have limited powers. What Jesus told Pilate in John 19:11 is also true for angels. It's more evidence in Revelation 5:1 through 5 that lets us know their holiness is also limited. Hebrews 1:7 pictures them as wind and fire. Check out Psalm 18:9 and 10, making us know he runs with clouds. As the song says, they are attuned with God. Think about this in Isaiah 57:13. The judging wind is mentioned in Jeremiah 4:11 and 12. It's even worse in Ezekiel 13:13. As for the fire, look what happened with Gideon in Judges 6:20 through 21. Then with the parents of Samson in Judges 13:19 through 21. Revelation 14:18 tells us angels are in charge of fire. Where does all their fire come from? The answer is found in Hebrews 12:29. Why? Because fire gets our attention so that we will listen. His fire also is a form of protection. Zechariah 2:5. Fire is also associated with hell. God set that fire of hell that will be the final home of Satan. Fire and wind are part of God's toolbox. Angels are not limited by gravity like we are. Most people describe them as beings of very bright light. Maybe that's why Satan masquerades as an angel of light. 2 Corinthians 11:14. The night Jesus was born, the light those startled shepherds saw the light of the glory of the Lord. Luke 2:9. It was God's glory, not theirs, shining. This is one thing Satan cannot duplicate. At times, angels are also described as stars, Judges 5:20. Stars remind us of angels in that there are too many for us to count. Revelation 1:16 reveals Jesus had 7 stars in his hands. Verse 20 tells us what they represent. Notice in each message to the 7 churches, it starts with the words, to the angel of the church. Those 7 angels are probably the pastor of the church. Why? Because angels minister to us, and so do pastors. 2 Corinthians 5:19 through 20 connects us to that same mission. That's how we shine our light of the Lord into this dark world. Most of the time, angels are invisible. Remember what Hebrews 13:2 says about entertaining them without knowing it. Gideon did. Samson's parents did. Abraham and Lot did. Yet Jacob had no doubt he had met them. Genesis 32:1. Neither did Daniel in Daniel 10:5 through 8. He fainted at the sight of them. Why are they mostly dressed in white when seen? It's the color of purity and joy. Ecclesiastes 9:7 and 8. It's the oil of joy. Why are their robes so white? Because they've been washed in the blood of the Lamb. Revelation 7:14. Then chapter 19:14 tells us we are going to share in a total snow white joyous victory with Jesus and the angels. Wow. The Lord has to open our eyes before we can see angels. They do carry weapons, Numbers 22:31. No matter how his messages come to us, God expects us to obey them. The fact that they go and come to us in dreams shows that they can work via our sensory systems as well as through sight. 2 Samuel 5:22 through 25. They can shout or whisper. Now let's see how they are like us. There's one very big difference. They are still what they were created to be, and we are not. We are infected with sin. They are not. Jesus is our only way of escape. That makes the angels curious. It also makes them glad when we accept him. 1 Peter 1:12 and Luke 15:10. You may send your prayer request to He Answers TWO@gmail.com, and we'll have the angels pass them along.